Newsflash! We recorded our podcast. I don't want to do it like this. All right. So we recorded our podcast something like 2 weeks ago, and everyone's been listening to it and loving it, I assume. But we found an essential ingredient that we missed the first time we recorded it, so that we re-recorded, give everybody this bonus episode, because our science department looked up one of the words that was particularly interesting to her, and now we're going to talk about it. If you don't remember, Ptomaine Tommy established the chili burger in Lincoln Heights in the 20s, and we mentioned that he had a wacky spelling name, Ptomaine, Ptomaine, and we're like, oh, whatever, it doesn't mean anything, but it does mean something. Daniel?
Merriam-Webster defines ptomaine as food poisoning caused by bacteria or bacterial products.
Wow.
It's an old term that is no longer medically used, but it's a quaint, old, fun word, a cute word for food poisoning. It's also used in the song Camp Granada by Alan Sherman in 1963. He says, you remember Leonard Skinner, he got ptomaine poisoning last night after dinner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hello, mother. Hello, father.
Here I am at Tommy's Boyga.
Why would you advertise something like that? Like, was the 20s such a badlands of taste that you can get away with, like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, here's chili?
I don't think the word was used still to mean that back then, but it was a fun way, even at that point, it was a fun way of saying, I have diarrhea.
I serve food that looks like diarrhea, I may have diarrhea.
Where does the chili end?
He seems, I mean, of all the characters that I talked about last week, he seems like the most playful. Like, he did have that truck with the ridiculously long name driving around and stuff. He seemed like he would
Maybe he didn't know.
Maybe he didn't know. A lot of us didn't.
That makes 3 of us then.
So in doing the research tonight, just to kind of clarify, we stumbled upon something that I found really interesting.
Shocking, I would say.
With tears in our eyes. Ptomaine Tommy is the name of a character from something called Leather Pushers from 1922, around the time that he was setting up the first chili burger. Now, this character is played by Edgar Kennedy. That doesn't really matter. The series, which seems like a series of like boxing films, like on film reels.
Boxing shorts.
Boxing
maybe.
shorts, yeah.
Not boxing shorts, though.
No. This isn't the kind of the wear. You watch these. You don't wear them, you watch them. But it seemed like, yeah, boxing fiction, if you will.
My favorite kind.
Another actor in the series was a man named Reginald Denny, an English actor, British that is. And I don't know if you know this or remember this, Reginald Denny happens to share a name with another famous Reginald Denny who was pulled from a truck in the 1922 alley riots and beaten on Florence and Normandy with the first victim of the alley riots. Florence and Normandy is a mile and a half from Florence in Maine, where Tom Kolak's first set up his hot dog stand, which was the predecessor to Tommy's Burgers.
Which you mentioned during the podcast.
Which I mentioned during the podcast, and you rolled your eyes at me and said, don't you bring up the rights one more time to me.
And here we are again.
Every single one.
Even the bonus ones you have to bring in.
Yeah, so I thought that was an interesting fact. This is a bonus episode. We can get away with anything. This is just the cherry.
Be glad that you're hearing this.
Yeah.
That you're getting a glimpse into what we do during the month.
Mm-hmm. Talk about food poisoning.
That's all we talk about.
Definitions of words.
And then one day of the month, we're just lucid, just barely enough to talk about LA history.
We record 9 hours, you get 1 hour of it.
In between all of our moans about food poisoning, there's something in there. That's been our little bonus episode. And check in at the end of the month for a new episode we're going to have coming out that won't break the bank.
Yeah. And if you have ears, you might want to stick them up.
Greg, you've said too much.